We're live now from the lab. Redskins Draft Talk, Sports on the Hill podcast on True Radio Network. We're actually going to throw some DC Divas Talk in at the end of the Redskins Talk, so I'm going to keep that Facebook Live feed going. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in our resident NFL insider, Dujunnea. How you doing today, sir? We talk some hockey, talk some baseball now. Let's get into the bread and butter, what we really do. Let's talk about some football. How you feeling about this draft before we break down these players round by round? What was your grade for this draft as a whole, Mr. Bland?
B plus is A minus. And I know there's people that have made statements about where and what they would have done and this and that. And that's great, sitting on your couch, nice. That's a nice thought. But when you look at this draft, Washington has done something they haven't done in a long time, and not too many teams do. I will say there's not too many teams that do well, but the consistent ones who win and make the playoffs do well, and that they don't reach, they don't panic, they take their time, and once again, how can you argue with players falling to you that were probably high on your board? What a phenomenal job by Schaefer, Doug Williams, and really that whole entire conglomerate of people, including Bruce Allen, deserve credit. But I'm going to give the credit to Doug Williams. He's the guy who's out front doing a lot of the speaking, and Eric Schaefer. Those guys should be given more than a pat on the back for the job they did this past weekend with the NFL draft.
Totally agree. I want to thank folks for chiming in. Hey, Amy, what's up? Lewis, appreciate y'all tuning in. Talking Redskins. I also give the draft a B plus, A minus. The fact that they drafted, for the defense like they did, 2 years in a row. Last year was 5 out of 8 picks they drafted for the defense. And this year, another crop of young, talented, hungry players that's going to help this defense. And I know how much I love defense. And if they can get some push and get some of these rookies into this lineup, they also made some subtractions to the roster that I forgot to write down, but we definitely can go over. But I knew you did. That's why I love you, brother, because I knew you already had it covered. So we're going to go ahead and break down. Go ahead.
Yeah, they had to make some, when you make additions, you make the additions that they did. You got two studs in Payne, who I feel like fell to them. That was the right choice to make there. I'm pretty sure if Vita Vea was on the board, they would have took him. But Payne was the guy that was left and high on their draft board. They got him. Getting Tim Settle, the guy who, even after looking at a lot of deep tackles, didn't necessarily write about him, but definitely when you look at him, I didn't write about him because I didn't think he'd be available in the draft. I thought he'd go somewhere 1 or 2. But they have those two guys at nose tackle, and now you have to get rid of some people, and they had to release AJ Francis. They released Hughes, Terrell McClain. They also waived tight end Chris Diesel, and a couple other guys, James Sample being one of those defensive backs. Look, there's something they had to do. Those guys, and I know a lot of people, Doc Walker made a comment that he liked AJ Francis a lot. And that doesn't mean if he doesn't land with a team that if something were to happen, they wouldn't be interested in bringing him back. But for once in a long time, this football team has 2 nose tackles, guys who can anchor the middle. And what the Redskins love and have loved over the years is guys who are versatile, and that they can scheme up a little bit, throw some little, monkey wrenches in there for opposing teams' offensive coordinators to give them fits. And when you look at Payne, I don't know how many watch college football, but I watch a lot of SEC football being here in SEC country. And you have Nick Saban does with his players. You have to love what they bring to the table. These guys are polished. They perform, and I don't like to say they performed against the best of the best in that the elite group, but they do go against top talent, and a lot of the top talent that is in the Southeastern Conference, they battle, and they also well coached. So they come in ready to go. They're guys who you can plug and play. You look at Tim Settle's another guy who's a guy who can gobble up the middle. He's going to help secure and stick that 30-second rate run, run a defense with along with Matt Ioannidis. You've got a good combination of guys in there that can really get the job done and apply pressure to the quarterback. They're not just guys that, again, they're versatile. They're able to get a little push. They're able to get after the passer. And I noticed if you look at the tape on Payne, he even brought it out in his introductory press conference. Guy gets up and gets his hands up. He makes plays, fastball. He has been the reason at times that some of the young linebackers have gotten interceptions because of him getting his hands on the ball. And that's something that's missing in all of football. You don't have to talk about Redskins, but just all of football. Guys getting their hands up when they can't get to the quarterback. Saw a little bit of that with the Redskins last year. And I did some numbers from last year. The first month of last year, Redskins were a top 5 defense until the injuries occurred. They were top 7 or top 5 or top 7 in the league in the rush defense until the injuries occurred. Now, those injuries don't constitute an excuse for poor play. We talked about that and discussing Nationals play as well. It does not constitute an excuse for poor play. Bottom line is, though, that if they could have kept the nucleus together, because you can't not disagree that these guys were not just on second string guys, they were on third string guys, they were on practice squad guys, they were on guys that we pluck off the street and come in and don't practice but one day and go out and play. So they were on slim pickings. Man, what a draft they have, just shoring up the front end. And that's not even including the guys they got to help along the front 7 in the secondary.
No doubt. I'm going to run down the draft picks real quick. As you mentioned, first round pick, Deron Payne, nose tackle out of Alabama at 6'2", 311 pounds. Third round pick, which was acquired via trade, Darius Geis, I guess that's how you pronounce it, running back from LSU at 5'11", 224. You know I don't watch college, but I've been watching some tape, especially on this guy. And this dude right here, I mean, yeah. And now if Jay going to give him the ball, if he gives him the ball, I want to see him out there and what he's going to do in the NFL, because he was running over Bama's in the college ranks. So I want to definitely see what he does. Fourth round pick. Yeah, that's the least of it. I saw one play where he was running back a kick and he killed the punter. I mean, he killed him. The punter tried to get in his way. And most folks would go ahead and run out of bounds and be like, all right, they try to make a move. He did neither. He ran. It was similar to the Sean Taylor hit in the play in the Pro Bowl, except for he had the ball and he was trying to just decleat the dude like, I don't even see you. I'm going to keep running like you're not even there. It was horrible. I might even throw that on there too. But fourth round pick, Troy. You got to help me out with this one, dude. In there, I can't even try to pronounce this one.
I think it's Apika.
Apika.
Yeah, Apika.
All right, we're gonna go.
I'm a little tough on that one too.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Apika at safety from Penn State, 6'1", 198. I watched a little bit of film on him and read a little bit. They say he's a good in the box safety. Gets to the ball. He's athletic and can make plays. That's something this secondary definitely needs. Fifth round pick as
most importantly.
Go ahead.
Most important with him, just to stick with him really quickly, the guy plays special teams as well. He was really a majority special teams player in college. He did come in and play some safety at times, but majority on special teams. The guy, this is something that's overlooked with this football team. Hasn't overlooked probably since Danny Smith, departed. teams, but most importantly, sure tacklers that are going to make hits, make plays, and not allow guys to continue to be in the plus side, allow their opponents to be in the plus side when we're talking about punts and kick returns. So, a guy that will definitely get an opportunity to play in the secondary, absolutely, especially with his speed and his knack to the ball. But definitely is going to be a guy that's going to contribute on special teams and somebody that's needed, especially with the speed and his sure tackling skills in that department.
Great. Like I say, I always love your insight. You know the college game, and that's definitely something this team needs. And special teams, that would definitely be welcome. Fifth-round pick, you also spoke about Tim Settle, defensive tackle, out of Virginia Tech, 6'3", 335. Sixth round, another Alabama player, Sean Dion Hamilton, linebacker, 6 foot, 228. In the seventh round, they had 2 picks. They had got Greg Stroman out of Virginia Tech also, cornerback, 5'11", 100, still 182 pounds. I haven't had a chance to watch any tape on him, but I also did see someone say that he was a steal, especially in the seventh round. They said that he's definitely going to help improve this secondary. What is your take on him, Dujunnea?
Again, a guy who makes plays. I think you can't go wrong when you talk about different guys coming from different programs. Virginia Tech, another program that is on the rise. Their players, well coached, guys that can come in and are plug and plays. He definitely could have gone a little earlier, but he fell to the Redskins there. It's definitely a quality pick. He's a guy that can play tight man-to-man coverage, and that's something that the Redskins like to have. Maybe he goes and is in that slot position, filling that spot of Kendall Fuller left in the Alex Smith trade. But he's definitely a guy that can make plays in the passing game. He had 20 tackles and 4 interceptions and 11 pass breakups last year. So, he's a guy that can come in and contribute right away, and that's important when you're looking at drafts and you're looking at guys that, especially in the secondary, where they'd like to have some guys that can contribute and have a nice little rotation there, so that you can continue to compete and make plays in that secondary, put pressure on opposing team's quarterback, making them throw in the tight windows.
Very true. Very true. Got to have a quality secondary along with getting pressure on the quarterback to have an effective defense, and look like that's what they're building. And with the last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, the Redskins drafted Trey Quinn out of SMU, who's 6 foot, 203 pounds. I haven't got the chance to watch any tape on him yet, but I've heard some people say that he's fast, he's dynamic, and he's definitely going to make some plays. Have you seen any tape on Mr. Quinn, Dujunnea?
Yes, guy's lightning fast. He really set the world on fire at the combine with that 4.34. He's super quick. A guy though that I'm not a person that thinks that he's a guy that is irrelevant. I really think this guy's relevant. He definitely could make the squad as a fifth wide receiver. He's a guy that against him, passer rating, the guy is, overall allowing, just minimal. He's like, I think Pro Football Focus had him as far as his route tree, and with this route tree, quarterbacks 114.5 passer rating when he's targeted. He's plus 24 in NCAA average. The post, he's 149.3 passer rating quarterback. Hitches 95.1 in passer rating. Outs 124.8 passer rating quarterback. Quick outs 123.6. So this guy's making plays. He's more than just a guy that's just we had to have a pick and we picked this guy because we had one more pick left. We had to do something, but this guy can come in and make plays, and he's more than irrelevant. I think he can be relevant. I really believe that he has a really good opportunity to make the squad and possibly be that fifth wide receiver for the Washington Redskins. But superb guy, a superb route runner, and a guy who can definitely make catches. He kind of reminds me of a quicker Wes Welker, like Danny Amendola like guy.
Cool. We definitely could use one of those on the team because that slot guy is very crucial. Crowder, he didn't have the breakout season I thought he would have after the season before. So, you got to continue to develop players and get somebody to push these other guys. So we want to see how that pans out. But just looking over these picks, man, I mean, just the 5 defensive players, man. I mean, I'm loving that because it's been so long, but since they've been building the defense, and to see 2 years in a row to get 10 players for the defense. And last year, every player contributed because of injury, but they contributed and they played pretty well. So hopefully we don't have the repeat of injuries again this season, but these guys that are going to be, projected to make an impact on this team, I can't wait to see how that goes, especially with this defense. And like I said, how I love defense. So just looking at these names and looking at the school, Alabama, LSU, Virginia Tech, these are all, I don't follow college, but I know those 3 teams play defense and special teams. And that's 2 things that this Redskins squad desperately needs.
And that's what's important is to, what I pay attention to a lot. You have a couple of coaches in there. You see Kirby Smart. We talk about the Nick Saban. Even we look over and we look at Clemson and what they've done over the last couple of years defensively, and the players that come out of there. You want well-coached players. You want guys that can come out and really get a grasp of what's going on, understand work ethic. That's something you don't have to teach because we know the millennial age coddled and hitty-suckled, but these guys are well coached. They're taught very well. They come into a program and they can make an impact right away. And as you stated earlier, you look at guys that just in the simple fact of guys that the Redskins are getting back, the Matt Ioannidis of the world. You couple those with the draft picks. You look at Preston Smith. You look at the retention of Mason Foster, Zach Brown. And you have a guy who really benefited from having Jonathan Allen out there on the field and Ryan Kerrigan, and he still balled out even though the injuries. You look at the addition of McAfee in free agency, and then you look at the rotation of guys they have with the McGee's, the Anthony Laniers, if he can stay healthy, Phil Taylors, along with Jonathan Allen, along with Settle and Payne. And then we're not sure who's going to step up after some of these, undrafted free agents might step up. There may be a surprise there. So just with what they have with their draft picks defensively, it's something to be excited about if you're a Redskins fan. And I know covering this team, I'm really excited to see the combinations that Greg Minunsky puts together. And again, we preached it, you preached it, Carol. It's something that I preach as well. And Redskins, you'll have an article that will come out soon about this. Don't forget to hit us up, redskinswire.usatoday.com. But this defense has a formidable front. If they can stay together and stay healthy, and have a healthy rotation of guys, especially up front, you don't have to worry about whether you have a Josh Norman-like player back there in the secondary. You just need to have competent guys that understand their role and play within the confines of the system. If they can do that, and you can get after the quarterback and be disruptive up front, Dallas Cowboys are a prime example of that. They were doing that quite well, especially at the times where they've had decent records. They weren't exceptional, never have and haven't had an exceptional secondary in a long time. It's about what you do up front. You can have the most average secondary. I'm not saying you can have like snail's pace guys back there, but you can have guys that are average as long as you have a good front seven that can get after it and that are tenacious and disruptive up front. And man, the rotation of guys that they have on this defense that Greg Minuski and Jim Tomsula has to work with is absolutely scary. And when Tomsula gets his hands on these young guys, I can't wait to see what happens in 2018 with this defense. Hopefully, for Redskins fans' sakes and for those who cover it, so they can hopefully get some wins, that this team stays healthy. Because if they do, I really believe they have could be one of the better defenses in the league and really have a big push to be the most improved defense this season.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I totally forgot about Phil Taylor coming back. So, that rotation, you got Allen coming back, like you said, Ioannidis. It's going to be very interesting. You mentioned McAfee, you got Zach Brown coming back, Kerrigan, Preston Smith. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Right now we're waiting on Christina Burton to call in for the DC Divas Talk. While we talking football, I went ahead. I know you saw me tag it in the Facebook Live. Waiting on her that she should be calling in shortly. Scoring update in the Nats game. It's 3-1. The Nats put up 2 runs in the inning before. Tanner Roark hit a single up the middle to score a run, and Trey Turner also got a single to score another run. And unfortunately, Pittsburgh just got a RBI double from their pitcher to make the score to make it 3-1 with 2 outs. That's the worst, to give up a 2-out double to the pitcher that was an RBI. But Tanner's still in the game. It's the top of the 5th. 2 outs, 0-1. Tanner's at 67 pitch count. But getting back to football, what we really here talking about, while we wait on Christina to call in. The depth on this team was tested very badly last year with the rash of injuries. Now, hopefully this year we don't have that same issue. And as we mentioned about this team, improving and getting more talent and actually having to, cut players that, maybe fan favorites or might, look like on the rise. I know we've already released some players that I know it's early, but are there any players in your mind right now whose jobs are on the bubble with this recent draft?
I think when you look at Preston Smith being in the contract year, there's no doubt that he's going to have to ball out this year because you got guys like Ryan Anderson behind you. You've got the addition of Hampton with that, and Hampton's going to be brought along a little bit. I believe he's still handling or coming off of injury that he suffered. And I think that had a little bit to do with him dropping the way that he did. But guys like that, Preston Smith are going to have to ball out if they want to get a contract and be retained. It would be nice to retain him, and it would be nice to retain him, especially if he's going to live up to the potential that many among, fans and media feel that he has the ability to do. That would be nice. But at the end of the day, you got to go with those guys who are hungry, who are getting after it, and who are, making those strides on the field. Another player, Rob Kelly. You bring in Geis now. There's no doubt that he can be a 3-down back. You have Chris Thompson. I felt like I think his name is Kari Bibbs. I feel like that guy played pretty well when he had an opportunity. But I think you're going to find that Rob Kelly's going to be the odd man out. Demonte Perron, you can't necessarily say, hey, get rid of that guy because you haven't been really given an opportunity, and a fair opportunity. But you know that guy is the guy who can go all 3 downs. Couple him with a Chris Thompson, and boy, you have some issues there. And Kelly could be the odd man out on that one. And then you have wide receiver. There's a couple guys. I can't can't place the name right now, but they signed. You can go to RedskinsWire.usatoday.com. There's a free agent, undrafted free agent tracker there, and you can keep up with all the undrafted free agents there. And there's a wide receiver that went undrafted that has skill, and you might say, where are you going with that? Well, if Josh Stockton doesn't get it together, there could be a problem. Because there's competition at every level on this team. I would say even tight end is an issue right now, and I know some people may think that you can't give up on Jordan Reed, but you got to be on the field. Like, we can't have I got a hangnail, this, that, and the third. He's got to be healthy, and it's a critical moment for him. They're going to bring in guys and young guys to see where they go and how they work. His name is Sammy Cobbs of Indiana. Keep an eye on him. Big wide receiver. And a guy who did nothing but make plays. When you look at the film on that guy, I mean, he did nothing but make plays. I think he's like 6. I know he's over 6 feet, like at least close to 6'6", maybe a little under. But big wide receiver who can make plays for this team. And there's nothing. I think you have to go in and do everything. As every position is open. You were 7-9 last year. There's no freebies. There's no lock position. The only lock position is Alex Smith. Everybody is up for grabs as far as playmakers go, and it's about competition and play the hungriest guys and guys who are producing. So we'll see, man. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, those are the players as of right now. When you look at things, and I'm sure there will be more small cuts to come. Depending upon as we get through the OTAs, especially coming into training camp, because there are going to be some guys that were here that are going to have to go. But I think most of those are going to be on the defensive side of the ball, and that's where that ended up. But lots of competition this year, and those guys got to step up. But I still, regardless, when you draft guys, I think Kelly's the odd man out. You can't get rid of Samante, and you know what Chris Thompson can do. So I don't see the only reserve guy that they could keep is Bibbs as a practice squad guy. I believe he has the ability to be on the practice squad. I'd have to do a little more research on that because there's stipulations behind a guy being on a practice squad or not, and how many times they can be there, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't see, Kelly can't be that guy. So the only other place for him is out the door.
Yeah, I kind of see that same thing, but they definitely have more speed in the backfield and get these guys that Alex Smith can do his, as they call it, dink and dunk game, and get these playmakers open and making these big, game-changing plays. But I see we got our resident running back on the line. So, Dujunnea, as always, I appreciate your insights. I know you got to get some articles out and get some more stuff, so I'll go ahead and let you sign off and get your stuff out so I can get Miss Burton on the line and talk about this weekend's DC Divas game.
No problem, man. My pleasure.
All right, you have a good night, man, and I'll holler at you later on, bro.
You too.
All right. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Miss Burton. How are you doing tonight? Uh-oh, my board's acting crazy. Hopefully, come on. All right, there we go. Miss Burton, how are you doing tonight?
How are you?
I'm doing good. My computer's starting to act a little funky, so I hope it doesn't do anything too wild. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Getting the kids ready for bed and all that jazz. You know me.
Yeah, mommy duty always. After you probably did some film study, you're going to do some more film study after you finish. So let's talk about this recent road trip to Pittsburgh. How did things pan out this weekend against Pittsburgh?
Man, it was a dogfight at the second half. 32-27. They took home the W. It's another one of those things where it's about making sure you get that rhythm in the beginning of the game. I can't say that first quarter it was 0-0. Nobody could put anything in. So once we got to feel for their defense, we got to feel for our defense, we got to feel for our offense. That's when the tempo started picking up. We were the first to put points on the board. This particular game we felt was one of those 15 against 11 moments. We had one of our receivers, actually she's a tailback, she went in for a wheel route and got into the end zone, jumps up, catches the ball, and lands in the end zone close to the out of bounds, I can't even think, because I'm doing too many things at one time. What the heck is that word? Anyway,
all right.
we don't have instant replay. So whatever the ref decides to call, that's where it stands. Unfortunately, that particular team videos puts the game up on the prompt. So they replayed that play, and you can see her feet were in the end zone, not even close to the white, but they said it was out of bounds, no touchdown, called it back. We didn't catch that one. So then get to we leave the first half of the game, 6-24, I think it was. We went into the second half with a 19-point deficit, and we came back off of that deficit. We just couldn't secure it at the end of the game. Veteran Trigger McNair, who's our Mike on defense, got an interception at the 2-yard line. Just before she was tackled, pitched it to our safety. Our safety ran for 65 yards before she was tackled at the 47, put us in good field position. We were able to capitalize on that, and I ran it in. I blocked for our quarterback. She did a QB keep play that we have, and got a touchdown off of that, which was our score to catch us up, to get closer to get that win. Last 47 seconds of the game, we got another interception by the defense. Pressure, they stacked the box. Quarterback did an audible out of it. They blitzed the quarterback. She tried to throw it out of bounds, and they picked it. They got the ball back. They took a knee into the game.
That's an unfortunate loss. Sound like it was a. You go ahead.
It was a rough. That was a rough one to swallow right there. That was a rough game too.
Yeah, I could imagine. Just you breaking it down, I can feel it. Just getting that. Y'all defense is from the game I saw last week. Y'all defense is definitely on the ball, still forcing turnovers like that. And unfortunately, you couldn't close the deal. You have a young quarterback that's still learning, and hopefully in the future, she makes better decisions or quicker decisions, and hopefully it'll turn out better for you guys next time around. So what's your next game up this weekend?
Well, we don't have a game this weekend. We have a bye week, which is good because I can rest the shoulder a little bit more. Not that it's not causing any problems, but the muscles tighten up. That AC joint gets, being a fullback, you got decent pass block, and a couple of times you got to put your shoulder into a few people. So right now, this is a good week for everybody to rest, do some serious film study on the next game that we have, which is in Richmond, the following Saturday. And just remain focused. Everybody needs to be in the playbook. Everybody needs to make sure they communicate on the field, and realize we're playing for the woman to the right and the left of us, and not just ourselves. Even if it's a individual position like a tailback that has to get the ball and take off running, she's on her own if there's nobody in front of her to block. But it's definitely a good time for everybody to sit down, offense and defense separately, come together in there and make sure that everybody's on one accord. So when we go to play Richmond, that we can handle business. And then the two most important games that are coming up are against Boston. We play Boston again at home, and we play Pittsburgh again at home. So right now, our hearts and our minds are focused on making sure that we secure those two big wins. Because just like us, they're Titans on the field.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, we appreciate your time as always. I'll let you get back to mommy duty. We appreciate that breakdown, and you enjoy the bye week and get some rest. We'll get that shoulder nice and loose and everything, and wish you the best of luck in your next game. And hopefully, when you come back on, you'll be talking about the team being 2-2 with a great victory y'all was able to get.
All right. Sorry I'm not as hype as I normally am. that would hit the soul a little bit, but I appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all are a fantastic organization putting this on and making sure that we get recognized along with the big teams that are out there too in the DC area. So appreciate y'all.
No problem as always. We love putting the teams out there. Y'all out there playing hard for the love and the passion of it. So we're going to put you out there if nobody else is. So you have a good night, rest up, and I will talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
All right, you too. All right, going to go ahead and get her in the listeners' lounge. I'm going to go ahead and end this Facebook Live feed and football segment with NFL Draft Talk and DC Divas Talk. Appreciate for everybody tuning in, chiming in. If you have any more draft questions, make sure you tune in to Sports on the Hill podcast page. Dujunnea writes for USA Today and Sports Wire. He'll be posting articles on there that'll answer some of your questions, or you can directly hit him up through our page and, get any answers or any questions you have. We'll try to do another Facebook Live. We did one for the beginning of the draft and for free agency, so maybe we'll do one, before preseason or something to get any more of your questions or comments, or maybe something sooner. But I'm going to go ahead and end this feed now. Appreciate you tuning in.